seen luxury, you've seen excess, but you've never seen this. A yacht built from solid gold with walls carved from meteorite and a master suite lined with T-Rex bone. No port, no public sightings, no confirmed owner. It doesn't dock, it doesn't flaunt, it doesn't even exist in the public record. They call it the History Supreme, a $7.5 billion ghost ship sailing through silence. Built for one man, feared by many, because this isn't just wealth, it's a myth. It's a mystery. And today, you step aboard. They say money talks. But this shouts from the waves, because when a billionaire wanted a yacht, he didn't just want luxury, he wanted to erase the line between myth and reality. What he created is called the History Supreme. Not a boat, not a super yacht, a floating monument to extreme wealth. A $7.5 billion ghost ship wrapped in secrecy, dipped in gold, and rumored to be more legend than vessel. Built over 3 years by British designer Stuart Hughes, this yacht isn't just rich, it's insane. And it might be the greatest flex the ocean has ever seen. Let's start with what makes it different. The hull isn't just painted gold, it's made of gold. Over 100,000 kilograms of solid gold and platinum were used just to build the base. Not for decoration, for structure. From bow to stern, the exterior gleams with precious metal. You don't walk aboard this thing. You step onto a treasure. Most billionaires throw parties. This man threw physics out the window and said, what if my yacht weighs more than a tank? Because it's made of bullion. And that's just the surface. Step inside and you enter a different universe. The floors are laced with gold. The staircase, platinum. The walls, made from real meteoric stone. Fragments from outer space, millions of years old. In the master bedroom, there's a wall feature built from authentic Tyrannosaurus Rex bone and meteorite shards. That's not a marketing gimmick. That's a real prehistoric bone, embedded next to rock from deep space inside a yacht. Why? Because when you've conquered the Earth, you decorate with what's left of the universe. There's a 24-karat gold aquarium built into the lounge wall. A bottle of liquor worth more than a private jet, capped with an 18.5-carat diamond. Rumors say there's a custom iPhone on board, covered in black diamonds, with a pink diamond home button worth $8 million alone. This yacht isn't about sailing. It's about saying, my wallet rewrites the rules of reality. And then there's the mystery. No one has ever seen the History Supreme dock in public. No paparazzi photos, no grainy portside shots. It's never turned up in Monaco, never floated past Dubai. Some say it never existed. Others say it's hidden in a private bay, protected by armed guards and satellite defense. But that's the genius of it. This yacht doesn't beg for attention. It thrives in absence. It exists not in headlines, but in whispers. Who owns it? That's the second mystery. The most popular theory? A Malaysian billionaire. Maybe Robert Kuok. But others claim it belongs to someone even more powerful. Someone whose name never shows up on Forbes. A silent king. Because real wealth doesn't chase recognition. It hides behind NDAs, offshore accounts, and silence. And maybe that's why this yacht feels more like a ghost ship. No confirmed sightings, no media tours, no confirmation from the builder beyond archived pages. Yet despite all that, it lives on. In Reddit threads, in conspiracy videos, in luxury forums, and billionaire gossip circles. A ship no one's ever seen, but everyone knows about. You see, the History Supreme isn't just about gold, it's about control. It's not built for the public, it's built for power. The kind of power that doesn't advertise itself. The kind of power that doesn't need applause. It just is. And while other billionaires are flaunting jets and watches on social media, this one created something so massive, so unthinkable, and so out of reach. It doesn't need a spotlight. Its silence is its status. In the world of luxury, the History Supreme broke the rules. It doesn't seek envy, it creates disbelief. People debate whether it's even real, and that's the point. When your wealth is so extreme that reality bends around it, you don't just own a yacht, you own a myth. So is the History Supreme real? Maybe, maybe not. But what's more powerful than a $7.5 billion yacht floating through international waters? A $7.5 billion idea floating through the minds of everyone who hears about it. This isn't just excess, it's psychological warfare. It's the billionaire's way of saying, you'll never see it, but you'll never forget it. And whether it's anchored in some hidden marina or never existed at all, one thing is certain. The History Supreme didn't need to dock to make history. It already has. They say the higher the wealth, the deeper the shadows. And if the History Supreme truly exists, it doesn't sail in sunlight. It hides in silence. This yacht isn't just a monument to luxury, it's a fortress built on paranoia. Because when your floating home is worth $7.5 billion, you're not just protecting assets. You're protecting secrets, control, and the illusion of being untouchable. No one knows where it is. No ports, no logs, no satellite tracking. It doesn't show up on marine radar apps. It doesn't do con. It doesn't pose in Monaco. Why? Because this isn't a party boat. It's a personal kingdom, wrapped in gold and sealed with silence. The rumors terrifyingly calculated. They say the windows are bulletproof, the hull was reinforced to military grade, laser-based anti-paparazzi defense systems installed across the deck, designed to scramble long-lens photography and blind drones. This isn't celebrity privacy. This is Black Ops level stealth. And the crew? Not your average luxury stewards. These are former Navy SEALs, MI6 operatives, and elite maritime security, hired not to pour champagne, but to vanish threats before they reach the surface. Even the captain's background is a mystery. Some say he's ex-intelligence, fluent in 5 languages, with clearance codes you've never heard of. Communications on board are encrypted through private satellites. Calls are routed through dummy servers. Internet access scrubbed through triple VPN firewalls and bounced off secure servers in tax haven islands. Nothing leaves the ship unless it's meant to. No photos, no leaks, no trace. It's not just about safety, it's about control. Inside, facial recognition systems are rumored to control every locked chamber. Eye-scanning doors, pressure-sensitive floors, biometric gates to access even the galley. If you're not in the system, you don't belong. If you're out of favor, you're off the boat, literally. The yacht reportedly has multiple hidden escape pods. Yes, escape pods. Sealed compartments that detach and submerge in case of piracy, attack, or a betrayal from within. This is wealth that doesn't trust anyone. Wealth that prepares for betrayal before the first champagne cork pops. The AI onboard doesn't just handle lights and music. It monitors vitals, movement patterns, and threat levels. If your heart rate spikes too high in the wrong hallway, security is notified. If a drone gets within 500 meters, it's scrambled. If an unauthorized voice is detected in a private room, the doors lock, the lights cut, and someone gets a call. This isn't fiction, this is paranoia as protocol. Crew members are required to pass monthly loyalty audits. Background checks aren't yearly. They're continuous. Any change in behavior, online presence, or financial movement gets flagged. Because the owner knows, disloyalty doesn't come in waves, it comes in whispers. And he built the yacht to hear those whispers before they become noise. And what about dock security? That's assuming it docks at all. Reports suggest it rarely ever enters known marinas. Instead, it anchors miles offshore and uses disguised watercraft to transport people and supplies in silence. Food arrives via unmarked vessels. Supplies are delivered without invoices. One whistleblower claimed they worked aboard the History Supreme for 4 months and still never saw the full layout. Everything was compartmentalized. Sections were sealed based on rank. Even employees lived under strict alias identities. You didn't ask questions, you just followed protocol. So why all this paranoia? Simple. When you own something no one's supposed to have, when your property makes governments uncomfortable, visibility becomes danger. You don't want your enemies to know your location. You don't want your allies to know what's on board. You want isolation. You want insurance. You want control without consequence. And the History Supreme, if real, is the embodiment of that desire. It doesn't flaunt. It disappears. Because in the world of extreme power, privacy isn't peace. It's power. Power to move without detection. Power to exist above law, above envy, above narrative. And maybe that's why this yacht is so feared, so debated, so whispered about. Not because of what it shows, but because of what it refuses to reveal. And that makes it the ultimate weapon. Not a display of wealth, but a disappearance from reality itself. They say wealth buys comfort, but when you reach a certain level, it doesn't just buy comfort, it buys absurdity. The History Supreme is no longer about sailing. It's about sending a message. Because no sane person needs a $7.5 billion yacht. This isn't about transport, it's about transcendence. It's the billionaire's way of saying, I'm not playing the same game as you, I own the board. At this level, money stops being practical. It becomes psychological. It's not about what you own, it's about what others will never touch. And this yacht, it's proof that the ultra elite don't live above us. They live beyond us. When you build a floating palace with dinosaur bones in the walls and meteorite shards in the bedroom, you're not buying status. You're buying mythology. And in a world where attention is currency, nothing is more valuable than being the legend no one can confirm. The History Supreme has become a global riddle. A ghost ship made of gold, talked about in tabloids, debated in documentaries, obsessed over in online forums. But here's the twist. The more we chase it, the more powerful it becomes. That's the genius. Whether it's real or a hyper-luxury urban legend doesn't matter. It has already infected the public imagination. This is wealth weaponized as a concept. A $7.5 billion vessel that exists more in your mind than in the marina. And the world's richest people, they love that. Because when your yacht becomes a myth, you become immortal. And that's the real prize. Not the gold, not the bone, not the tech. Immortality. influence, control. And let's not pretend this is just one billionaire's vanity project. The History Supreme reflects a much bigger reality, the age of symbolic wealth, because the richest people on Earth don't show off with cash anymore. They show off with invisibility. They build things that are too rare to track, too private to find, too surreal to believe. A secret island, a bunker in New Zealand, a super yacht made of prehistoric fossils and space dust. You can't outspend that. You can't even understand it. You just react. That's the whole point. In the digital age where everyone's flexing for likes and followers, the History Supreme flexes in silence. It doesn't post. It doesn't explain. It doesn't need to, and that's why it wins. Because true power isn't loud. It's unreachable. And the yacht embodies that. No AIS tracker, no port history, no owner statement. It is the anti-celebrity. Famous precisely because no one has ever caught it. You don't build that for bragging rights. You build that for God mode, for control over perception itself. And sure, some say it's a hoax, a PR stunt gone viral. Maybe it is. Maybe it was never finished. Maybe it's sitting in a dry dock under a fake name with its gold hull hidden under matte black paint. But even if it was fake, it worked, because now every billionaire yacht is compared to this. Now every ultra-wealthy flex lives in its shadow. And that's legacy. Not just luxury, not just wealth. Power that rewrites the narrative. So what happens when you have more money than you can spend in 10 lifetimes? You stop spending. You start shaping reality. You create objects that make people doubt what's real. You build legends. And in doing so, you become one. The History Supreme isn't about gold or yachts. It's about showing the world that when you're rich enough, you don't have to exist to be felt. And whether it's anchored in some invisible bay or never left the blueprint stage, it doesn't matter, because its job is done. It turned one man's wallet into a weapon and made the world stare into a golden illusion they'll never touch, never prove, and never forget. You've seen the gold. You've heard the rumors, but the truth remains untouchable. A $7.5 billion vessel with no face, no trail, and no proof. This is not just a yacht. It's a myth sculpted by money. So the next time someone asks what true wealth looks like, tell them it's something you'll never touch, but never forget. If you believe the History Supreme is real, like this video. If you think it's a legend, comment Gold Ghost below and subscribe, because next we're diving into a secret island owned by billionaires and off limits to the rest of the world.